What are those core principles?
I mean, I think higher education, it makes you think outside the box, right? Like I have a history master's degree, an undergrad in political science and history, a minor in Jewish studies. That was my undergrad. I mean, my doctorate's in education, but I started my doctorate after I was working in higher ed. So it's related in that, but my degrees before it had nothing to do with what I do. I like to joke I'm really good at like trivia. But then maybe that's it, or a fun fact. Which what really ever like no it's not fun, it's just a fact. Right. So that's where I'm at with that. But I think that taught me how to do research, right? I'm very good at research because of having a history degree. What I think is important, though, for any student is it's not just the degree you're getting, it's to open your mind to, I think, the possibilities that degree gets you, right? So just because possibilities that degree gets you, right? So just because you major in psychology doesn't mean you're going to end up working in psychology, but it's still got something, right? Maybe how to speak to people, how to interact with folks, right? And so helping students, because what I do think we see sometimes is because the military is the way it is. We have someone come, a veteran who's like, I want to do engineering because I know those jobs pay well. They're safe. They'll always find one. I want to be an engineer. Well, you're not good at physics, so that's probably not an option. But it's this is the career I want. What do I do to get to that career? Instead of saying, okay, well, there's more than just that. So we do a lot of like partnerships with different industries, organizations, corporations that come in. And if you think of something like, I'm just trying to Prudential, right? They're out of New Jersey. They love hiring veterans. They have a very strong veteran like Infinity Group or ERG Group for their employees. And we talked about like, well, I don't want to be insurance. I don't want to do that. I'm like, they have finance there, right? They have cybersecurity there. They have like looking past what you think you want to do, or maybe, you're getting a degree in this, but you can apply it in all these different ways, like you were just saying, right? So I think getting them to expand their outlook on what options there are. To go back to something you were saying now, one of the challenges I think for military affiliated students who come here, veterans and service members, is the value, right? Of like you were in the military for 5 years, 20 people reported to you, you were in charge of $1 million worth of equipment, their lives, and then you come here and you're a first year student along with the 18-year-old, right? Who's never held a job, actually. And that can be demoralizing. Right. And the same thing happens, I think, when you graduate for students. And it's not just military affiliated students or veterans, all students. Like, here it is, you got this degree, yet, you do what I did after I finished my undergrad, waitress, right? Because that's the job I had. So I think it's being open to like opportunities and not feeling that just because I got this degree, I can't go and do this. It doesn't mean you're stuck somewhere. As we started this, like, I wouldn't be working with veterans if Urzula hadn't cold called me. Right, to work with veterans, right. So that's how.
And then I wouldn't be here because we didn't continue our story, but I was home raising my kids, and she ended up going into a full-time position at College of Staten Island. One of the dean or assistant dean moved over to Rutgers, and then reached out to her and said, "Oh, we have this director position opening up here at Rutgers. You should apply." So she applied, and she got hired here. And then she was looking, she had an opening for a staff member and encouraged me to apply. And at that point, I was ready to go back to work. My youngest was 3 years, the boys were 3. So I was ready to go back and work a full-time job. And I applied here, and I ended up getting the position here. So it's like, it worked both ways. I helped her out, got her into the field. And then when I was ready to go back to full-time work, I was able to continue working with veterans here in this setting. So it's kind of that, which brings me to my point. I wanted to mention the getting something out of higher education is also the networking aspect.
Yes.
Because as you see, for us, she was a college student, being able to network and communicate with others that you can relate to also opens up other doors for you in your life in general, not just in the college setting. I mean, just that human interaction or meeting somebody, we go through this all the time. We meet people, they reach out to us, and then we end up getting something for a student, like an internship or a job placement. They're looking for some kind of connection. So again, it's that interaction, the networking, and with military affiliated students, that it's like a huge component, because it's a lot of times, they're in these leadership roles in these companies, and they're looking to hire others. And it's sometimes not just the degree, it's also like you have to know somebody. You have to have that relationship with somebody, because it's so much better when you can hire someone that you trust and you know that you've worked with. It's not just a random resume you're looking at. So
Exactly.
the networking aspect of college and getting into an internship and whatever experience, working with others, that's a huge component of being in the college setting, I think.
I agree. The social interaction, so you can have a broader view not only of the professionals but also the convictions. How that person operates. How can they integrate in a social setting? How do they lead? How do they complement others, people's leadership? So I think it's very important to like. It's like you're making the perfect steak. You want to have all the proper seasoning so it can come out right. And I like what you were saying about like the undervalue of even a degree sometimes when you get out of a bachelor, because also today we live in this perception that even an entry level job requires non entry level experience. So it's true. What is the criteria to meet certain um, meet job descriptions to get certain positions? And this is where I do think people are becoming more entrepreneurs, because how would I fulfill something when the experience I've had acquired surpasses that, but yet I'm not qualified for it.
I'm trying to coexist. Yeah, I'm trying to coexist. I'm trying to coexist.